method equally, yeah. And then there is lateral filing method. Lateral is where files are placed side by side with their spines facing out. So you can use some lateral filing cabinets. You buy them specifically for lateral filing. Yeah. So you can use lateral filing cabinets or shelves for your lateral filing method. Please, could you would have done it together like we did with the last cohort, but we don't have time. So just look at suspension filing and lateral filing. You'll get a very good photos. Where you go to photos, you get a really good you know, on what it's suspension, what's lateral, horizontal, you understand. They're lying on top of each other, you know, and then vertical is where they're actually on an upright position. You arrange them maybe on your shelf. Characteristics of a good filing system. Come on. So let's discuss classification systems, yeah, because this one you might need. So classification systems include alphabetical classification. Alphabetical classification is basically you use alphabets, yeah. You file according to the surnames. You pick your client's surname, and of course, if the surname is started with an A goes first. So alphabetical classification, you use surnames and of course now alphabets. Some of the rules for alphabetical classification are use the surname, yeah? And if the names are similar, you use the second name. And then titles are ignored, like doctor, professor, you ignore those. Equally, a hyphenated name, the hyphen will be ignored. So of importance will be advantages of alphabetical classification. Advantages are it's simple to understand because you've used ABCD alphabet. Equally, there is no separate index required. It enables direct filing. You can just put your file where all A's are. You just insert where A's are. It is very flexible, adaptable, easily adaptable, and it has wider application. Some of the disadvantages are some letters might be more used. So some files become bulky. If A is a lot, A becomes very bulky. And it has limited usage. You can only use A, B, C, D and nothing else. Yeah. And equally, it's difficult to estimate the space requirement for different letters you might need in future. Probably you'll get a lot of clients with B's. Yeah. So, and person filing must have thorough knowledge of filing rules. There's some filing rules over here for alphabetical filing. I'm going to share these with you. So there's some rules for alphabetical filing. And then the other classification of filing system can be alphanumerical. Alphanumerical is where you decide to use both. Okay, there is numerical first and then alphanumerical. Numerical is where you're using numerals, yeah? So you're using numbers. So filing is done according to numbers or a numerical code. For example, you could say all account files 001, all human resource files 002, or all conveyancing files 001, or criminal 002. So the advantages are here. I'm not going to belabor the point, you know, because we can't discuss advantages, all of them, yeah? As long as you know like what is a numerical classification, it is flexible, it is suitable for large companies because you guys are actually able to estimate. You see all 003 criminal files and then possible to add new records easily. It is convenient for filing documents with serial numbers. Disadvantages are it can be very expensive, it is time consuming, can delay you when retrieving records, and requires training on how to use an index, and a transposition errors can lead to misfiling. Alphanumerical is where you combine both numerals and alphabets, A, B, C, D. You combine A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3. So that's alphanumerical. And then it could be geographical. Geographical is where you utilize according to where the files geographical location. So you could say all our Mombasa files, yeah, we are going to classify them like this. All our Malindi files like this. All our Isiolo files. So like geographical classification is where are you? Where exactly like where the file is from or geographical location. And then subject classification. Records are classified according to the subject. For example, the subject will be criminal, commercial, civil, and then it could be chronological filing, where records are classified according to the most recent file is on top. Yeah, like as they come. That's chronological. The most recent one is on top of everything. So you're able to know, hey, this one was came in last week, this one is last year. So that is chronological. So a filing classification system can either be alphabetical, can be numerical, alphanumerical, can be geographical, subject, or chronological filing. So we are not going to belabor the point on factors to consider when making an appropriate system. These points are the same: cost, flexibility, availability of space. So you're not going to belabor we're not going to belabor. So we discussed types of indices because I want us to be out of here at least by 10:55. So indexing of records. There's some types of indices. An index is a separate list of records. Have you guys been to a physical lab? You'll use an index to know what you're looking for is. So an index is like, as you could have index of law of England, So an index is a separate list of records under different classifications for ease of retrieval. So an index is like a whole book showing you where to find the duties of directors. It could tell you volume 1. Yeah, those cases are in volume 1 law of England. So an index is like a separate document which enables you to find what you're looking for easily. So the importance of index is to guide you where to get the record. Equally allows you fast access of records, avoid misfiling of records. Of importance would be types of indices. They include number 1, a page index. A page index is a booklet that contains a list of records. So it could be a whole book. Tells you if you're looking for remedies of Alesso, those cases are in volume 3 and 4. So you go looking for volume 3 and 4, So a page index is a booklet containing a list of what you're looking for, like containing a list of records. So advantages are it's cheap to prepare, it's time saving, it's not easily lost. And the disadvantages are it's difficult to add a new record. If you have one index, then you can't add a new record, and it could be untidy to remove unwanted records if you want to add new records, or some of them you no longer need them, and it's very unsuitable for large companies. So a page index is like a whole book with a list of material or list of files and where to find them. But I think most law firms will use a page index. And then you have a loose vertical card index. A loose vertical card index is where you place loose cards vertically inside a box. Most of libs, they use that. Yeah. So there's some loose cards that are vertically placed in a box or a drawer showing you exactly where to get everything. Okay. And then there is a visible card index. That's that type of an index. A visible card index, this is where the index cards, there are some cards which are filed in a binder and they overlap each other. But then, do you know the easiest way of understanding this is by seeing a photo? And by then we would have done it together with you. We go look at a visible card index, I laugh, and you can even do it with your phone. But that's what I used to do when I was revising for this unit. So I'll Google visible card index and look at how it and see how it looks like, and everything would make so much sense. So that's my advice. Just look at, go to your, you have internet on the palm of your hands. Don't take it for granted. So you go to I mean, oh my God. You go to our Google search and then you write visible, go to photos, see how it looks like. So everything makes a lot of sense. Okay. So the cards are in a binder and they overlap each other and the labels are visible. So you're able to see A, you're able to see B. And then there is a strip index. A strip index is where records are typed on a strip of an adhesive paper, which is then stuck on the page of a book. You see how you use a page marker? That's a strip index for you. Like you're able to know exactly, like a page marker. Yeah. So you type those records on an adhesive, like a paper that can stick, and then you stick it on a page of a book, like exactly that page where you have written a plaint verifying affidavit. So you stick on adhesive papers or page markers. And then there is a rotary index. A rotary index is a type of a cylinder or drum onto which cards are inserted vertically. You know, it's a rotary index. So it's like a cylinder. Again, you look at Kenya Law. Uko online, whenever rotary index. And then the last one is a punched card. You know, this was an exam question. And honestly, if you don't know punched card, what would you say? Si unacha tu in a slide. Because this one is either you know or you don't. So that's why we are discussing this. Otherwise, qualities of a good filing system, surely. You know, you guys are so brilliant. So punched card index or computerized index, this is where a punched card index has a series of holes which are punched, and each hole represents some info. And it is used on a computer. So it's where there is that. Okay, I had Googled one. I took a screenshot. I think I can share it with you. I can share punched card index, but of course you see it's punched or computerized. So you can see this is used in a computer. But the dynamics are. I'll share with you guys. You see mine, but you can actually Google, see yours, and then you can share screenshots with us. It actually goes a long way in retaining content. So that's a computerized index, usually used in a computer. That's the easiest way to remember. Allows room for expansion. It is accurate, space saving because it's a computer. Easy to add more detail. And then there is another one called microfilming index. Microfilming is where a document is photographed and reduced to micro size, which cannot be read with a naked eye. So you have to use some special material for you to read it. Yeah, that is your microfilm. I think I had like an acronym for this. I don't even remember what it was. Yeah, but there is microfilming. You can get some way of remembering. Microfilming, you photograph a document and then you put it in micro size. You cannot read with a bare eye. So it's used in labs, museums, archives, where important data is stored in large volumes, and therefore you don't even have space. So you reduce it into micro sizes and store it in a computer, probably. So the advantages are the obvious the advantages that come with computers: space saving, economy in using filing space, more permanent than paper, less bulky, reduces paperwork. Disadvantages are it is high maintenance cost. You can't even read with a naked eye. So you need some special material for you to decipher what has been stored in a microfilming index. Yeah. So if you're asked to discuss types of indexes, then you will start with the easy one: page index, loose vertical card index, visible card index, strip index, rotary index, a punched card index or computerized index, microfilming. That would be the last one. And at least just try to remember advantages, disadvantages of such things. Yeah, this will equally be examinable electronic record management, because in the face of ICT, like a lot of ICT, so you will need to look at advantages of electronic record management. Number one, strengthens corporate governance, reduces human resource. Like you don't need people 1,000 people at the registry to check files for you. You can easily check from your desk. Equally increases efficiency because you don't have any room for errors. It's computerized. Risk mitigation. You can't lose a file easily. You see, if the file is in computer, you have like a backup mechanism. If it's a paper record, clients, people will lose it. Better accountability. If anyone accesses, maybe let's say the portal, we're able to see who's accessed and who's read the file. A reliable backup. You can store your documents maybe in a cloud. Equally less destruction of records because it's not paper record. Increased internal collaboration. Lower archiving cost. You don't even need to archive. Improved version control. Consistent content, improve task management, like basically everything that comes with ICT. And of course, you can look at challenges of electronic records. One of them is they are prone to you can't ascertain the integrity of an electronic record because it could be tampered with easily. Yeah. And some storage formats are not stable. You could save a Word document today and then tomorrow it's so distorted you don't even understand, or documents created are dependent upon technology to interpret them. And equally, it's not very stable. The record, if the internet disappears that day and power goes, KPLC goes, then there is no way you'll be able to maybe retrieve a record easily. And maybe a client is there, they want to see their sale agreement. You're telling them your computer shut, the sale agreement is in the computer, you can't even access it. So issues of accessibility when need be. might not be very reliable and requires some policies in place on how to use it. Some law firms are very categorical. You cannot use your own laptop. And of course, it's protect a electronic record. You have to use the laptop at the office. So every single time you're typing, everybody can see what you're typing, they can see what you're accessing, what you're uploading. So you can't use your own laptop to type client work. You use that office's work. So you might require policy to that extent. Can we carry computers home? Equally, it might be very expensive. Yeah, such things. Such things are attendant to your filing and record management. Okay, so we look at standard policies and procedures. Cindy, do you have any question before we get our slide on standard policies and procedures? This is lecture 6. Okay, so let me check our slides. We're almost done. I know. Oh Lord. Oh boy. I know you might be very worried, but let me tell you something. See, I've told you I didn't know mathematics. So just take it from me that it's never that serious. Yeah? Don't kill yourself. We survived that hard mathematics. High school mathematics. There is nothing too difficult now. So a standard, so we discuss standard policies and procedures and systems. So a standard is a written limit, a definition or a rule approved and monitored by an authority as a minimum benchmark available. That's a standard. Like what's our bare minimum? What can we do over here? What can we not do? Like are we allowed to do this? Like your bare minimum, that's your standard. Like a limit. We can't go below this point. That's our bare minimum. You will call that a standard. A standard can either be a national standard, it can be an international standard, it can be a personal standard, it can be public-private standard. Really, I don't know whether anyone will ask you classification of standards, but these are your standards, yeah? Can be a national, like as a country, what can we not do? Like an international standard, maybe against torture, or a personal standard that you'll never wake up late. Even if you have no exam, it can be a public standard, can be a very private standard that you apply to a particular organization or to everybody. It's applicable to everybody. That's a standard. So a standard is what we cannot go below, So there are 6 categories of standards. Very quickly, number 1, it can be a glossary or a definition of terminology. So a definition of terminology is for purposes of avoiding ambiguity. So if we define a child as someone who's below 18, then at no point, that's our standard. At no point will a child be someone who's 18 years and 8 months old. It's below 18, okay? It can equally be a dimensional standard. A dimensional standard is coordinate of a specific article. Let's say in your advertising and marketing rules for advocates, your placard at your door had to be 0.50 by 0.50. So you cannot have a placard bigger than that or smaller. So that's the bare minimum. Like that's the size for your placard at your door or for your advertisement in a newspaper. That's like the size of that printout. That's a dimensional standard. And then it can be a performance standard. These are basically utilized by management. Like at what can we not go below? Like you want to type poor pleadings, 2-page submission. Over here, it has to be at least 3 pages. That's performance standard. Or at least per given year, dispense with 3 files that you had during that year. And let's see your billables, So that's performance standard. Like we can never ever accept anybody who has 3 files in that year. They haven't even done any hearing, It can be a standard method of test, which basically means if a test is to be conducted, cross-cutting a particular organization, the result will be similar. So you call that standard method of test. For example, if you conduct a test, let's say at University of Nairobi, law school, we go to Quea, we go to Moi, we go to Kenyatta, we go to Egerton, we go to Kisii, the result will be the same. Like we'll be able to see a similar trend. So it becomes a standard that all law schools need to have a lib, such like all law schools maybe need to offer family law. you know. So a standard method of test is applied across maybe a similar organizations, and results are similar, and therefore becomes a standard to be adopted by everyone. And it could be a code of practice, a code of your SOPEC, like a code of code of practice, for example, SOPEC, it has to be a minimums for advocates. For example, confidentiality, for example, trust, for example, communicating. Like it has those bare minimums of you as a council. So that's code of practice. We can't go below that, you know. And then it could be a measurement standard, which basically this is for your KEBS. Yeah, there is an act called weighing measurement, you know. So we can't go below a particular, if the sugar is 1 kg, then this is how you used to actually measure and determine it's 1 kg. So these are some of your categories for standards. Albeit, I don't think it's examinable. It's important to look at it. Policies is very, very important. So a policy, on the other hand, and like a standard, is a law. It is a law, it's a regulation, it's a procedure that is applied by a government or an institution. So it's a documented general approach that is taken in regards to a particular matter. You know, the objectives of our policy could be number one, provide guidance on how to reach our mission as an organization. Equally, to be provide guidance on how to implement a strategy. So it's our strategy to eliminate all forms of sexual harassment and discrimination, then we come up with a sexual harassment policy. Equally, provide controlling mechanism of organizations' behavior, provide controlling mechanism on employees' conduct. If we have a workplace culture policy, and you cannot come here at 9 o'clock, if you come at 9 o'clock, don't come. Equally defines rules, defines roles, and explains consequences of breach of a behavior. These are some of your objectives of a policy, like general objectives of any policy. So if you have to tell us objectives of a sexual harassment policy, then this will be, your point will be like to that regard. Now, of importance will be formulation process of a policy. Number one, you start by identifying a problem. Okay, identify a problem. After identifying a problem, you set an agenda. So identify a problem, number one. Number two, set an agenda. Number three, after setting your agenda, you conduct research. Like you conduct research, you want to see how can we resolve the problem, because sexual harassment is very prevalent. How do we resolve the sexual harassment problem? So you conduct your research, number three. Number four, you draft your policy paper, like a general draft policy paper. After you draft your policy paper, you present to the management. And then the management could actually suggest that you need some amendments, which you will do. And then ultimately, the final policies are prepared and adopted by the management. And then the policy is communicated to everybody that it will affect, for example, the organization. And then you sensitize employees on the policy. And then lastly, implement the policy. And then you said all policies have to have a monitoring and evaluation mechanism. So you want to see whether you're achieving the objectives of your policy, you know? So that's how you formulate a policy. This has been examined so many times. So you identify a problem. Number one, you set an agenda for any policy. If you have to discuss how to formulate a policy for disaster management, anything, sexual harassment, record management, ICT, all types of policies. You first of all identify the problem, number one. Number two, set the agenda. Number three, conduct the research. Number four, draft the policy. Present to the management. The policy is then adopted by the management. Communicate to everybody affected by it, and then sensitize everybody, and then implement the policy, and then monitoring and evaluation, maybe on periodical bits of the policy. Yeah, a policy can mutate into the law. A policy can mutate into law. So what happens if you want a policy to mutate into the law? Stakeholders are consulted, experts are equally engaged in order to research, and then the developed paper is adopted by the government. Yeah, and then it is popularized, and then a bill is drafted and introduced to the parliament on the floor, accompanied by a memorandum of objects to remember from your bill classes. And then first reading, this is how you basically make law. First reading, second reading, third reading, or what you call committee stage, and then presidential assent, and then commencement. So a bill can mutate into law if the following steps are followed. Yeah, so you won't belabor the point. So what are the components of your bill? Number one, I mean, at a bill policy. Number one, policy name. You have to have a name for your policy. Could be maybe sexual harassment policy. Number two, effective date of your policy. Like at what point will the date be, will the policy take effect? And then you could have purpose, of course, purpose or objectives of your policy. And then you will have a policy statement. A policy statement is basically the mention, like a very general statement as to what the policy is meant to achieve, like the general, like a very holistic point on what do you want to achieve using this policy. And then you could have definitions in your policy. But then look at the sexual harassment policy, LSK one. It has been sent on the group so many times. It has definitions, yeah? Has definitions of sexual harassment, employees, and then scope of permissible exceptions. So basically, under what circumstances can we excuse you if you breach these particular terms? And then authoritative figure who can make these exceptions to the policy. If the policy is you have to give us a 5-day notice before you take your annual leave, and you want to tell us you want your annual leave like ASAP, then well, that can be actually can be excusable by a particular person if you have grounds. And then committee, if we need a committee for ensuring the compliance, and the authoritative figure or the person responsible for implementing your policy. So this will be your content of a policy. Depending on what it is, these are general contents of a policy. If it's a sexual harassment policy, you provide a mode of making complete policy implementation challenges. Number one, guys could actually not be very receptive. The parent organization, especially where it's a branch making the policy, they could actually not be receptive. Regulatory bodies, government policies, legislation, anything, corruption, inadequate human resource, inadequate materials, such things. A procedure, unlike a policy, the easiest way of understanding a procedure, as the name suggests. So a procedure is a means of enforcing a legal right. So a procedure could be used to achieve the objective in a policy. You could have a very general, let's say, a sexual harassment policy, but it doesn't have the procedure of reporting. How do you report? What do you use? Do you have time limitation? So procedure will provide us with steps on how to make sure employees are not sexually harassed. Or maybe you have a procedure on safety. How do you report a breach on safety or security? So that's a procedure. So a procedure is a method by which legal rights are enforced, or by which you can actually meet the objectives of a policy. You can use procedures. So a procedure would be layout procedures. The content will be procedure on reporting sexual harassment complaints, or any procedure for that matter. So attributes of a good procedure will be, it is articulate. Articulate means it is very straight to the point, doesn't beat around the bush. It is very simple, easy to understand. Everybody can understand easily because it's going to be used by the employees largely. Equally, it is very accurate and consistent with the statutes, because it cannot be inconsistent with the statute. So those are the attributes of a good procedure: articulate, simple, accurate, consistent with statutes, among others. How do you formulate a procedure? First of all, you identify. It's just like a policy. Yeah, you identify the need for the procedure, you obtain approval from the senior management, you define the scope, you research, you draft a procedure, and then you obtain comments. You can incorporate the comments, and then you distribute the procedure, sensitize persons affected, and then review periodically and get someone to implement your procedure. That's how, that's basically a procedure for you. But a procedure is a means to an end, like it is used to achieve a particular goal, maybe provide reporting mechanisms. So you'll have procedures in place to enable you to do so. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there's something else. ICT. ICT. There was a question about ICT and it was very complex. Good Lord. I kept wondering, why would someone want people to struggle, Bana? It was a very complicated question on ICT. Let me show you what it was. So we discussed ICT. Oh Lord, we are done now, I promise you. What's remaining is ICT and types of offices. So this is ICT. ICT. I want to show you something very, but oh Lord, why is this slide slanted like that? There was a question on what is automation. Wait, was it an oral or an exam? Well, what is automation? That was an exam. You know, if you don't like, how would you even guess? Automation, maybe for your purposes tomorrow, if you need it at all. So automation, IT automation is defined as the instructions. Oh my God. There is a simple definition which I have. Because what is that? Hmm? That is too lengthy, Lord. There is no way you're going to remember that. It's too much. So let me tell you what automation is. I had written it somewhere. Of course, I don't even remember what automation is. I remember that day and forgot immediately after. Well, I have a really simplified definition, or if you have a really simple one, type on the chat box, please. Nonetheless, as I try to get the definition that I have, it is the use of instructions to create a repeated process. Yeah. You're using it, of course, automated using a computer to create a repeated process and replaces the manual work. Yeah. So let's say every single day, it's your work, your all your typed works, they are uploaded on a particular cloud. So it's automated to that extent. Or if you decide to send maybe in your client's weekly client care letters, it is done automatic. You just insert information. This is the file, and then you write what you want to inform them about, and then it is auto-generated for you. You just say, and it sends for you. That is automation. Of course, now you will have to use that language, use of instructions to create a repeated process in order to replace manual work in data and maybe cloud deployment. So your work is uploaded maybe automatically after you're done in a particular cloud, and everybody has access to your work maybe after you finish. Why do you automate? Number one, incident. Everything that comes with ICT advantages, that's why you automate. It's automatic. You don't need human anymore. It is more accurate. It is easily accessible. Incident management. If there is an incident, you're able to resolve it maybe ASAP because you will see exactly where the leak is. Unlike a physical document which disappears from the office, you have no idea who took it. Yeah. And then application deployment, you're able to upload things as the same goal. Yeah, security. Okay, so advantages of automation are the advantages of ICT. All ICTs, including computerized index, they are the same. It is cost reduction, speed, accurate. Okay, guys, so you know this point. Increased productivity, availability, greater reliability, better performance, and of course, disadvantages of internet. ICT are usually the same. There might be some errors, some oversights, because there's no human to actually check whether what you might type a client name, and maybe there are 2 units in that farm, and then you update the wrong units. Intent, you might actually unintentionally do something, and then you're unable to undo what you've done. It is we lack some sort of flexibility. Well, it cannot integrate with other systems. You cannot have paper record and automated system as well. And implementation does not guarantee accurate results. And the other disadvantage, it might be quite expensive for you guys, for a law firm to actually have those mechanisms in place. There's one thing I am actually looking, besides define what automation is, there was something else. What was it? I can't remember it off my mind, but this was an exam question as well. How ICT is being applied in the legal profession. What was it? Oh, now let me tell you. I've remembered. So, before you go to what I want to show you, how you apply ICT in legal profession, we have virtual courts. Number one, you can research, you can attend court, you can inform clients, you can market your law firm, you can do so many things on it. You can attend seminars, you can train your employees, like all those, you can train them using ICT. You don't even need to go to the law firm, like where they are. Those are the advantages of ICT. For judiciary has been able to, we have e-filing systems. Guys can pay without, your documents get assessed online, you get your invoices, you get your receipts online, orders are sent online, advocates can attend court, judges can attend attend court virtually. You know, you don't need to go to court anymore. Like no one needs to meet the other person physically. So the question was, ICT application in office management. You know, that was the question. ICT application in office management. So your answers would have been word processing. I know they're not difficult things, but surely, me personally, I don't know whether I would have known. So ICT application in office management, number one, word processing. Number two, spreadsheets. Number C, databases. But that is what I'm seeing on the course outline. Those are like, how do you apply ICT in office management? You see, yeah, you can use your word. You can use spreadsheets. You can use databases. You can just put your points there, but just remember it's an examinable question. ICT application. I found it rather interesting because ideally you wouldn't expect that in these papers. No. Okay, let's look at the last thing. The last thing before I allow us to ask questions, and then I'll show you one past paper question and how questions are set on each section. Sindio. So let me check what am I looking for? I'm looking for that very first topic. But most importantly, that last topic is what remains. Front office services, those things. Yeah, I believe so. Let me check. It's lecture number 3. I think that's what I'm looking for. Let me see what lecture number 2 is. Just give me 1 minute. I see what lecture number 2 is. No, it's lecture number 3 actually. So let me check lecture number 3, which you guys actually have. Someone sent all these material on the group. So let me project these at least so that you don't have to look at it again. As I leave you guys to go and craft mathematics. So front office service, that should be the first topic. The questions usually the topic is office administration and management. Yeah, includes office, front office services. So the questions usually are, how do you deal with nuances who come to your front office? Like someone who didn't have an appointment, how do you deal with them? And how you choose your office location. Come on. Let's look at a past paper question. But you choose your office location depending on security, accessibility, space, cost of rent, reduced noise. So how do you own an office? You can either own on a freehold ownership that is yours like entirely. You can own leasehold occupation. You can lease out, like you lease for a particular duration of time. You can equally decide to rent. There's some advantages, disadvantages of each over there. Freehold is where like it's yours, like absolutely yours. A leasehold is where there is a landlord, so you pay some rent. So the disadvantages is it can be a bit expensive. Okay, so there's something I want us to discuss. It's examinable types of partnerships. Yeah, the 3: general partnership, limited partnership, LLP. Yeah, it's examinable, and the advantages and disadvantages of each. Physical components of an office. They'll include lighting, noise control. How it was an exam question. How do you control noise? Yeah, it seems very easy, but how do you control noise? You can have a policy to control internal noise. For external noise, you can have soundproof walls. You can equally have mats. A carpet reduces noise. You can, what else can you do? Carpet, soundproof walls, nothing else comes to my mind, but it's an examinable question. How do you control noise? How do you improve lighting? Equally, cleanliness and sanitation is another component. Ventilation, making sure everybody's comfortable. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Types of offices. So types of offices, it can either be number 1, a co-working desk. A co-working desk is like where you guys are sharing a space. Yeah, you're sharing a space with so many other people. It's actually right now, so many people do co-working desks. Like you go to a space, you take out a desk, and then you work there, maybe pay on a daily basis, weekly basis. Equally, it can be a private office. This is like your home office. Yeah, can be a private office. Now, so these are types of offices. Yeah, there are different types of office plans. Yeah. So don't confuse types of office and types of office plan. So your office plan can either be closed plan office layout. A closed plan office layout is where each one of you guys has their own space. Like the office is subdivided into so many other smaller rooms. Yeah. And they are connected by corridors and they are lockable. You can lock your door. That's a closed plan office. An open plan office layout is where all of you work in one room, like one open room. We don't have any subdivisions. Everybody can see everybody. We are working from one central place. And then it could be landscaped layout. A landscape layout, also called a panoramic, panoramic, such a thing, or landscaped, is where you partition the office using green plants or using flowers. So it's basically an open layout, but it has been partitioned using some plants, using some flowers in order to reduce the openness. Yeah, so you reduce the openness using plants. The features are easy supervision, carpeted floors, decorative windows. There could be wall paintings. There are plants. There are lovely, lovely flowers. It could be a workstation layout. A workstation layout is half partitioned. It is half partitioned because if you stand up, we will see you. But if you're seated, we can't see you. However, it is still lockable. The room is lockable, but it's half partition. That's a workstation layout. And then it could be a modified layout, which means it is both closed and open layout together. So the material, the reason why we are saying it's both a layer, I mean partition, I mean sorry, open and closed, is because the material used to partition is clear. Yeah, we use glass. We've used glass to partition, and therefore we can actually see you in your room on your phone the whole day. You can see you watching Netflix from morning to evening. So it is both open, modified one. We are using clear material to partition. Of course, the advantages are there is privacy, reduced spread of pathogens because people are not together. However, it is more expensive, but it is lockable. It is basically a closed. We can see you, but now we can't access you without maybe knocking, so it is both closed and open because you're using clear material to partition. It could be an a team cluster. A team cluster is where groups who are doing the same work, maybe they sit on a round table. Yeah, so you have several tables or you have several rooms where everybody with the same work, you're going to sit on the same round table and you work from there. It could be, we've discussed an enterprise. Oh, now this is we've discussed an enterprise. Have I told us what an enterprise suite is? So an enterprise suite, on the other hand, is an office space that is easily customizable. So it is some sort of co-working space or serviced office, but it is easily customizable. Yeah. Today you could have convincing guys seated here. The other day they changed. You remember you were talking about types of offices. Yeah. Remember, and we mentioned 3. We said it can be, oh Lord, we mentioned types of offices. These are an extension of types of offices. Other types can be virtual. It can be a virtual office. This is where you have services of an office without the physical workspace. Yeah. So a virtual office provides services of an office without a physical workspace. And there is a front office desk or a business address. Like if you go there, the only person is seated at the front office, and then they give me your email, your telephone number. That's a virtual office. Like it's only a secretary who's always there. And then it could be a home office. We've discussed home office. It's like at your home. And then serviced office, this is where it is managed by an on-site service team. So you do nothing. You don't clean, you don't do anything, you just pay rent and maybe some service charges. So these are not your employees. Yeah. But it's managed by those guys. It is very, very flexible. Billing procedures are equally flexible for serviced office, but you have everything we need. However, this is an extension of types of offices. I don't even remember what the others were, but this is an extension of virtual office, home office, and serviced office. But I remember mentioning it. So the other question is the role of a front office, the role of a front office. Like, what role does your front office play? Communication, if guys come there, they get communication, processing of special requirements by clients, a telephone, yeah, receiving calls, receiving complaints, maintain the professional outlook of the organization, guiding guests. I know as you're revising, this was your first topic, yeah. So the other thing will be challenges faced by front office. Challenges could be too many visitors at the same time, maybe difficulty in understanding some clients. Some of them you don't even understand what they're saying. Maybe there could be duplicity of services offered at the front office and at the other back office. For example, they were asking the same thing at the front office. They come and start asking you the same thing or in the back office. Equally, lack of communication or maybe communication barrier. This guy comes to the office, they are telling you Maasai language, you don't understand what they're saying. There could be hostile visitors, guys who come shout at you, I want to see the partner now, such a hostile visitors, okay? So the other question is advantages of a good office layout. So you can answer advantages, something like allows easy supervision, smooth flow of work, good communication, security of employees, because everybody who comes will ask them, who are you, where are you going? Economy in use of office space, enhances concentration of workers because you don't get disruptions. Like not anyone can just come in and start walking around without maybe being directed by the front office. Yeah. So the other thing is centralization and decentralization of office spaces and the advantages and disadvantages there too. What centralization is where you decide to have same functions at the same place. So you could have a typing pool from the same place. You could have a filing registry at the same place. You could have like you have a registry at the same place. The advantages, the disadvantages of such, and then customer service management. Why do you need to like consistently inform your clients what's going on? Yeah, what is customer service management and why is it important? And the role of ICT in customer service management. If you see a question on the role of ICT, that point will be the same. Reduces human resource requirement, customer satisfaction. You're able to reach so many customers at the same time. Low cost because you don't need people. Better service delivery, better data collection. That would be the question. Maybe the role of ICT in customer service management, and equally modern trends in customer service management. For example, number one, right now you can get a social media customer service, a customer self-service. A customer can actually maybe give you their details via your portal, and then you draft for them a sale agreement. There is video and streaming. You can video call your client and inform them what's going on. Personalized customer service. You can reach out to different clients, maybe personally through their emails, and then higher focus on customer success, especially if you have that Nini system that updates your client automatically after you feed the data. Then really you focus on your customer success highly, and you're able to know exactly what to do for each client because you get information from the client real time, immediately, and exactly what to do. Yeah. So those are the questions. Modern trends in customer service management. Why it's important to actually have a customer service management policy, why can you centralize or decentralize some office functions, and what are the disadvantages, principles of a good office layout, types of offices, and what else did I everything else, functions of an office. Functions of an office, by the way. Functions of an office. It's a communication center. As I get a past paper, we are finished at 11:20. I promise. Now I'm not lying. I promise you guys, I'll just let you go at 11:20. I know that you need to 1 2 accounting. So importance of an office, it's a communication center, number one. Equally, number two, communication center means you're able to receive and process communication in the office. Number two, it's an information center or a memory center. Like that's how you guys you store your records. So it's an information center to that extent. And then equally, it is a control center. Like you're able to control what goes out or comes in. And equally, it's an intermediary. Yeah, for example, between your client and the law firm, or between employees and the law firm. So advantages of office, you just need to remember like what's an office. By the way, defining what an office is might not be as easy as you think. Senior, like what's an office surely? So an office is a room or a part of a building in which people work, especially sitting on tables with computers, like it's where guys will work, employees will work. This ATP 105. So this is your last unit. Oh, good Lord. If I meet you and I know you, like just tell me you are here. Don't lie to me. Of course, I'll know. Ask me for a drink because you guys have actually outdone yourselves. So the paper you'll be told number one. Question one is compulsory. Like you have to answer, even if it's accounting. We andika tu chora vitu, and then all other questions will carry 10 marks. And you have to answer a question from each of the sections, okay? And 1/5 question from any of the section, which means, your other section A is accounting. So question one can be anything, can be theory, can be our office management, human resource, or it could actually be accounting, So this is what I was telling you guys, like theory for accounting. But really, let me tell you, even if you've never seen anything like a costing system, you can tell what a costing system is to determine how much money you'll need. So you can discuss advantages of a costing system. As long as it is theory, you know something. So these are the theoretical questions for accounting. What's a costing system? Like advantages. A law firm is able to forecast how much it needs, easier planning, efficiency, those are your points. What you take into considerations before setting up a cost accounting system. Number one, how much it will cost. Number two, the size of the organization. Number three, the number of employees. You don't have no idea what a costing system is, but you can just write things because they make sense. It makes sense to say the size of the organization. And then it asks you, to discuss critical factors that will affect quality of work of employees in a modern and progressive law firm. Surely. Unajua, this question is asking you on career management and training and development. Those are your points. Discuss the key methods of a law firm that can use to dispose of, honestly, to dispose records. You start with electronic records. You remember degaussing. And then paper record, and then you discuss those points, all of them for paper record, and then you go to electronic records. So section A will be commercial accounts, Mike. If you don't know mathematics, don't start with this question. Sawa. And now you have the luxury of choosing one. Okay, mandatorily, yeah, you won't escape because it's a must to answer one question from each of the sections. So you just choose one that looks, oh my good God, oh sweet boy. Choose one that looks easy to me. I will choose this one. The second one, I think I will have some entries in Dadiara. I can do a cash book. Boom, that's what's up. My God, I don't even remember what a ledger account was, but you can draw a table. You see, don't leave it blank. Wewe andika tu hapo T, andika hapo hii side inakuanga DR. Ingine ni CR. Wewe andika vitu hapo. Don't leave it blank. You'll get 2 marks out of 4. Of course, you know how a ledger looks like. Sindio? Like it can't be that bad. Unachora hiyo kitu and then unakuja unaweka vitu kwa wewe jaza tu. Hata hakuna ja calculator. If you don't know mathematics, what are you calculating? So entries is what will be marked, okay? Wewe weka entries. Mambo mingi unaacha. Weka entries, usichukue ati unataka ibalance. Umeng'ang'ana. Almost cutting your wrists. So the way a calculator is as useless as they come. Most people leave that room without using it because what you'll do, you come to part B and then start with your human resource management. Let's say that's what you're good at. You see the question, everything you'll see tomorrow, we've mentioned it. Yeah. The question will be discuss 5 factors that influence recruitment policy. See, we said it can be internal or external policy factors. And you remember the nature of the job, the organization, the unemployment levels, such things which we discussed, and then it asks you 5 elements to discuss when formulating a recruitment policy. This question on policy, the answers are the same. But now you look at the specific one, first of all, for recruitment, we said you ask yourself, what is recruitment? Recruitment is where you're sourcing for people. So number one of your consideration is methods of recruitment. Are you into internal ones? Are you external methods? And then you'll say you will equally look at the qualifications, yeah, of your intended applicant. Like what exactly are you looking for? Equally, you look at the different job yeah, the role of that particular job, which enables you to outsource. And then you look at the method of advertising, especially where you're using external external method of recruitment. Equally, we would say that you look at the person to implement it, the review, because all policies, the two constant points for all policies, there has to be someone in charge to implement. And lastly, review and monitoring. That is two consistent points on all policies. Like you have to get someone to look at to implement it. And then question 5 asks office practice. So you will so question 5 asks you, as a graduate, discuss arguments in the view employment in economic and moral connotation. As a graduate of Kenya School of Law, discuss the arguments for and against the view and the implications of human resource management. So this basically question is asking you on objectives and purpose of human resource management. Yeah. So you would easily discuss that. And then section C asks on office practice. Section C will be office practice. You would easily start with these questions because they'll be so easy, 3 methods of procurement. So you've discussed methods of procurement, you have more than 3, you have so many. You remember tendering, you remember design, you remember direct, all those ones, and then you discuss it. Why would you need an inventory management system? Why would you need to keep, see, I told you this, Aki, I'm not wrong, I did. Why would you need to keep tracking what you're doing? Because an inventory is meant to track what you have, what you're running out of. Equally, question 7 asks you to discuss the importance of a front office. Why do you need a front office? I think that's the last thing that you've mentioned. So probate, probate, oh Lord. These questions for this unit, they'll be so easy. You can score 55 effortlessly. If you know mathematics, if you don't know mathematics, of course, 55 is a very long shot. But a 40, if you can answer all theory questions very well, because theory, as they told you, the minimum will be 30 marks. So just aim at getting the 30 out of 30. Oh, make sure you look at things like the importance of financial statements. There are some theory questions here. Just let me show you what you. One last thing. I am so sorry. Oh Lord, no, sweet Jesus, you want to leave. So these theory questions for accounting, don't at least have an idea. Especially this one. This question 1 is asking you the term comparability in financial statements. Yeah, at least have an idea. 2 ways in which international financial reporting standards, oh my God, aid in comparability. You can draft a lot, you forget this theory. They're on that page 1 of the book. 2 ways in which you use historical cost accounting. Imagine. So question 1 can be an entire theoretical accounting. They explain how prime cost, my God, what is prime cost? Sweet Jesus. Explain how prime cost is determined, but you can just say something. But honestly, you can't say anything if you don't know what prime cost is. It will be a very long short term. Yeah. So see, Basi, you guys, I believe that why do you computerize? Those points are the same for ICT. Why do you develop a proper record management system? Come on. See, you will pass. That's my point. You'll pass. So don't kill yourself tonight. Trying to understand so many things. Equally, the question can be like opposite. Like the question would ask you, discuss the import of not properly placing in an organization. So you answer the point in reverse. You're not able to get productivity. So the question can be, oh, yeah, I told you about job analysis. 5 ways in which job analysis can be used to solve some problems. So if you know what job analysis is, the content, the objective of job analysis, then you can tell us how job analysis can be used to resolve our issues. Yeah. Discuss 3 reasons why you train employees. And describe 2 criteria you can use for fair promotion. Remember, yeah, we said merit, we said longevity, like how long someone has been there. Yeah, such things. Maybe you look at the career trajectory and then you determine whether to promote them. So suggest 2 forms of sexual harassment. Do you remember forms of sexual harassment? 3 steps in order to curb sexual harassment. 3 steps. One of them is a sexual harassment policy. Policy will be a solution to all challenges in this unit. And then you say you could have a procedure as well on reporting. maybe training your employees on the importance of not sexually harassing others, um, health and safety measures that the firm can take in order to mitigate disaster. You remember those points I had given you, Sindio? So that's how the paper will be. If you don't have any, if you don't trust yourself, just approach this paper head on, like head on. It's the easiest and you'll effortlessly pass. Cynthia, so let mathematics not worry you. It is less than 30 marks, but equally don't take it too lightly. You know, you might take it too lightly. You sleep, yet you have no idea what a costing system is or what a bank reconciliation system is. Yeah, Cynthia, so we finished the class. I think, oh Lord, I think my senior left the meeting. Seen his message. He says, he said he had checked because he had a few other errands to run. But he says, I tell you that accounting is all about remembering where to put your entries, and you really don't have to balance your account. Neither do you need to worry about, but don't put wrong entries. You get a correct mark for each of the entry. Okay. So do you have any question? Because I think we can hang up the call and maybe let you guys have time to go through everything else, see whether you know not whether you know everything, like you have an idea about everything, especially for accounting. Let's see whether for purposes of theoretical bit you've been able to cover base. So let's scroll up. LPM, general introduction, historical background of legal management. Hiyo achana nayo. Okay, usiseme mimi ndio nilis. Oh Lord, sweet boy. Well, I don't think anyone will examine it, but I have some slides on history, so you can just look at it. I equally have no idea about history of legal management. Office, define types of offices, types of business organizations. It can be a sole proprietor, LLP, general partnership, limited partnership, or a company. Importance of an office, nature of a law firm, office organization, front office, office layout, types of offices, front office management, customer service management, and then we've discussed what a standard is, what a policy is, what a procedure is. We've equally discussed ICT. I've told you guys that question on, I've even forgotten, but don't forget ICT application in office management. Yeah, it's actually ICT application in office management, computer literacy tools, challenges of computers, document management system using computers. You'll easily answer those ones. Record management, don't forget record management, use of technology in record management, it's important. Stock control and inventory, supply chain management, procurement, records disposal act. Oh Lord. Human resource. We had looked at human resource and we said we had discussed everything. Make sure you know these theories. You see, they're here. You know, someone out of malice might ask you theories of human resource management, at least like one or two. We discussed them. So those slides are on WhatsApp, but let me just send those slides again, all of them right now on the group, Cynthia, so that you look at them if you haven't looked at any. Oh Lord, sweet Jesus, you God, Aki, please look at these things. Advocates are, oh my God, it gives me nightmares. Oh, actually, cost classification is here. Types of budget. Oh my God. Oh Lord. I remember cash flow. It didn't make any sense. There's a guy who was showing us. I kept on wondering. His name was Kyoko. I kept on wondering what was he saying. This was my question one, the paper that I did, bank reconciliation. So what saved me is you know, like this thing, this is on this side, this is on this other side. But you have to have been doing it. You can't start tonight. Tonight, what you can do is just cram. Hapo hakuna bahati. Si ndio? Sawa. So see to nini. We finished the class. Si ndio? I give you time, guys, to go through accounting. To cram. Ni kubaya. So have a lovely night, guys. I wish you a really restful day after tomorrow, restful holiday, but above all, I wish you all the best tomorrow. May you remember everything, especially theory. I want you to get like a 30 out of 30. So just maximize on theory. If you know mathematics, just get a 55. It's easy. It's easy actually. Sindio? And you'll actually free from these shackles of bondage, you know. short tomorrow at 1. I can't even imagine your lives. I want to be you. Yeah. So I wish you a very happy beginning after your exam, because like an entire you start like an entire journey now towards, pupillage, now other uncertainties, because it's full of uncertainties. Actually, it is a journey of uncertainties even after your Kenya School of Law. However, you'll find your solace, you'll find your refuge, and everything will be okay. Yeah, everything will be okay. You'll be able to dance under the lights very soon, very soon. Okay. So have a lovely night, and thank you so much, guys, for the indulgence, and thank you so much for trusting me and doing this with me. I really will never forget you. You are my best cohort. So have a lovely night, and I'm here. You can always reach out for 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, but not mathematics. Okay. So have a lovely night. I really, really, really appreciate you. I'll share the recordings. I mean, not the material right now. The recording might take time for me to share. I love you so much as well, Penina. Love you. Okay, bye bye, guys. Have a lovely night. May the good Lord walk you through the journey of the uncertainties, because it never gets easy. Don't think that utalala forever. Utalala to next week. So have a good night. Bye. Bye, 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 bye from my end. Let me just stop recording.